House Oversight Chair James Comer says that Biden's family may have accepted more than $40 million from foreign nationals. This as President Biden once again snapped at reporters when asked about Hunter's deals. Listen to this.
President Biden, how involved were you in your son's Chinese shakedown text message? Were you sitting there? Were you involved?
No, he says. Tom Fitton joins me now. Tom, great to see you this morning. The details as presented are damning, and the president is becoming more and more defensive, clearly. I mean, where does this go from here?
I don't see how the House avoids an impeachment inquiry. You know, the alternative is that you rely on the Justice Department to figure out what went on. I mean, we don't expect President Biden to come out and make a confession, right? You look at what the evidence is about what he knew and when he knew it and the extent of his involvement. And the evidence, as you point out, is powerful. In this Justice Department, the evidence is protected Hunter and Joe Biden in an improper way. Frankly, this individual litigant up in Delaware, the computer shop owner, is probably going to ask Hunter Biden tougher and more significant and substantive questions about the laptop than he's ever been asked before, certainly by the Justice Department. And if they don't want to have a grand jury do anything, if they don't want the Justice Department to have a special counsel, then it's incumbent upon the House to get with it and begin an impeachment inquiry so that there at least can be an understanding by the American public to figure out whether he's impeached, but to figure out what the truth is about the extent of his involvement. And the evidence is powerful. It's just a matter of getting it on the record and holding the president to account in the way the Constitution allows.
You know, in the IRS whistleblower, Tom, Gary Shapley, look, he said his team was not allowed to even ask about President Biden during the Hunter investigation. Listen to this.
We weren't allowed to ask questions about Dad. We weren't allowed to ask about the big guy. We weren't allowed to include certain names and document requests and search warrants. There were definitely hindrances that I've never seen before in my 14 years concerning this investigation that didn't allow us to follow through on an investigation of any other individual, to include President Biden.
This person, Gary Shapley, Tom, he seems remarkably credible to me. He seems like he's come forward and said, look, this is what happened. He's very believable. I mean, I hate to ask you the same question, but what happens now? He is a very strong witness to all of this.
Well, not only that, but his colleague who was running the investigation as well supports virtually everything he says. And I would compare and contrast the treatment of Biden with Trump. And this builds a powerful case of selective prosecution, you know, a disparate approach between Biden and Trump. They protect Biden and target Trump. The same Justice Department, these same top officials were telling Weiss, oh, no, we can't go aggressively after the Biden team, while in an unprecedented fashion raiding the home of a former president.
Right.
And, you know, I think this issue is going to be raised not only, obviously, in Congress, but it may show up in Florida as the president tries to defend himself. President Trump, I mean.
Tom Fitton, so much to talk about. We could talk about it all day, but thank you so much for joining us this morning. We do appreciate it.